and welcome back to Sports Talk Live. We have a lot of sports to cover today, but first, let's take a look at last week's poll question. The viewers seem to disagree with me as they voted Taylor victorious in our first Sports Talk Live debate. But don't forget, if you ever want to vote on our poll question, go to our website, sportstalklive.net. From there, you can watch all of our videos, vote on the poll question, of course, visit our Facebook and Twitter pages. Give us some input on what you'd like to see here on Sports Talk Live. But now let's kick off this week's show with Westchester Field Hockey.
The field hockey team stretched their winning streak to 7, capped off by being crowned the 2012 PSAC Tournament champions. The Lady Rams defeated IUP in the semifinals and Millersville in the finals by combined score of 6-1. They now look to carry the momentum into the NCAA tournament, which begins right here at Westchester, Saturday, November 3rd at 1 p.m. Now that they have won the PSAC tournament, guys, do you see them making noise in the NCAAs?
Yes, they have a lot of momentum as Taylor mentioned, they won the PSAC tournament. But I disagree with them even having to play in the quarterfinals. This is the #1 team in the country, and instead you have the #2 team and the #4 team getting buys. I just don't understand that, and I disagree with it.
Riley, but it actually could help them, though. You see, like in the NFL with bye weeks, I know it's not exactly the same. They get a week off or going to the playoffs, and they actually come out rusty, and a lot of times they lose. So I actually like that they're playing, multiple games, and I think that actually could help them and keep them in a rhythm going forward.
Well, Taylor, this is actually where I disagree with you because as we're going to see when we take a look at soccer, they were upset in the quarterfinals of the PSAC tournament. So you can never take a team too lightly and just assume that we're going to win and take the momentum into the next game. But we have a very solid team here. So as long as we play as we're supposed to play, I see that we're going to have no trouble repeating like we did last year.
I agree with you. There's no reason why we shouldn't repeat.
Yeah.
We're easily the best team in this tournament.
Yeah, I agree, too. I mean, just with all the games we played, they just come too far and too much senior leadership to lose now. So I agree. I think they're going to win it all.
Now let's shift our attention to the football field as the Golden Rams cruise to a 59-14 victory over cross-county rival Cheney last Saturday afternoon. The Rams have 2 games remaining on their schedule, including a big game on the road against PSAC Eastville Bloomsburg Saturday, November 3rd. What do you guys think about the big bounce-back victory against Cheney?
All right, so it was nice us getting a win against Cheney, but it was expected. Everyone knew that we were going to come in and blow them out, and exactly what we did. But this is where I don't like it, only because we're such a much more talented team than them that we kind of took them lightly and still were able to beat them. But then we come back and play Bloomsburg. It's not going to be that easy, so I could see it somewhat hurting us in the end. So that's why I never really like playing those blowout type of games.
I mean, Brian, you make a good point. But for me, just like I talked about last segment, momentum is everything. And for me, no matter who you play, whether they're good, bad, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you still have to beat them. And I just think all the confidence that they can take out of scoring so much, and their defense played well yet again. So after a couple of tough losses, I think that actually will help them moving forward.
Yeah, I agree with Taylor. I mean, we had a real tough loss against Shippensburg on homecoming. So even though Cheney's kind of like a cellar dweller right now, it's a game we needed to win. And at the end of the day, we needed to come out and take care of business, which we did. So moving forward, that was big for us. It got our offense moving in the right direction and got our defense moving in the right direction for a big game this weekend.
The #2 seeded women's soccer team was upset by #7 seeded Slippery Rock 2-1. Despite their early exit of the PSAC tournament, the Lady Rams should find themselves in the NCAA tournament, which begins Friday, November 9th. Is there a way they can bounce back and be a real threat in this NCAA tournament?
Well, guys, though they lost towards the end of the year, and they've been kind of up and down, especially towards the end, I think they have what it takes to go pretty far. Starting off with 10 straight wins in a tough PSAC division, I think is really tough. And overall, I just think with the senior leadership by Jen Hutchinson and Melissa McCary, which we've had over here in past weeks, I really like the way they've been playing. I like their talent overall, and I just think they have a good shot at making it far.
Well, I want to agree with you, Taylor, but They really started off well with a 10-0 record, and they had that momentum and the confidence, but then they completely lost that towards the end of the year. They had still ended up with a good record and everything like that, but like I said, they just were upset and everything like that. So I don't see them going too far in this tournament. I want them to, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Brian on this one. There's just too many bumps in the roads. I mean, that really hot start, everything was looking great, but since then, too many ups and downs, and I was really surprised they lost to Slippery Rock. That was a game they should have won. I do see them winning a couple games in the NCAA tournament, but there's a lot of good teams out there, and I really don't see them putting together 5 or 6 straight victories, which is what they need.
Now, the men, on the other hand, are still alive in the PSAC tournament as they prepare for a semifinal showdown against Slippery Rock on Saturday, November 3rd. The winner of this game will face the winner of the Millersville and Mercyhurst game on Sunday for the PSAC championship. The men need to win both games this weekend in order to have any hopes of getting in the NCAA tournament.
With the fall season wrapping up, winter sports are right around the corner. We have some exciting news regarding the men's basketball team as they will travel to Champaign, Illinois to face the Fighting Illini in an exhibition game this Sunday, November 4th. Be sure to show your support by tuning into the Big Ten Network or watching via web stream at www.btn.com this Sunday at 4 p.m.
Well, guys, I'm really excited about this. It's going to be really cool to be playing a top Division I team, so I'm definitely going to be tuning in and watching this.
Yeah, I mean, we lost 2 senior leaders, but with everyone else returning, with some really good players and talent on the team, I think we actually have a shot to actually keep it close, even though it is this exhibition game.
I think we'd be pleasantly surprised if it was close. But more importantly than the actual outcome is just the experience our guys get and playing in a real-life game situation with each other to get familiar with their tendencies.
Well, Riley, you never know. We could be looking at the upset of the season here. So just a reminder, go to the Big Ten Network this Sunday and check out our men's basketball team. Now let's move from Westchester sports into Outside the Horns as we will take a look at the Eagles and the Sixers. The Eagles dropped another one this past weekend as they fell to the Falcons 30-17. With this defeat, the Eagles have lost their last 3 games, which has more Philadelphia fans doubting whether Michael Vick should be the starter or not. What do you guys think? Do you think it's time to make a QB change?
Well, guys, I don't like to brag, but last week I picked 28-17 and it was 30, so not too far off. But I do think they need to make a change of quarterback. Vic, as you see, played well in spurts, but overall just not good enough to get the job done. And this preseason we saw Foles. I know it was the preseason, but he played well. He's a big kid. He can handle a lot of the pressure. And I think we have to give him a shot. Maybe not this week against New Orleans down there, but in the next week or two, I think it's time to make a change and to see what he has.
I think now is the time to make the change. I think putting the young guy in the spotlight on Monday Night Football, a national audience with all that pressure, will be good for him. The Saints defense has really struggled this year,
right.
But I'm not saying Nick Foles is our starter for the rest of the year. It's more of sitting Vic down and saying, look, your job is not safe. You need to get your act together. If not, then you're going to lose your job. If Foles does do well, you ride him out. If he does okay or if he struggles, you go back to Vic the next week. It's just kind of more to sit Vic down and show him what's going on here.
You both make good points, and this is where I'm torn actually. Only because it'd be nice for Vic to play in a game where the defense has had their struggles the entire year to get his confidence back. At the same time, it'd be a very nice time to bring in that new quarterback and get his confidence into the system.
Right.
Either way, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, we know Andy Reid isn't going to make the switch this week. Personally, I probably would. I would switch, and I agree with Taylor there. And once again, but in my case, it's not about proving something and doing a decent job. He has to really show that he deserves to have this spot. If he does that, then I'm all for keeping him as that. But if we don't really come out with a big win, then we have to switch back to Michael Vick. Well, guys, that's going to bring us to this week's poll question, which is with the Eagles' recent struggles, who should be the Eagles' starting quarterback this week against the Saints? Be sure to go to our website and cast your vote for who you think should be the starting quarterback.
All right, guys. Now, before we finish, we should take a look at the Sixers. They started off the season winning their first game against the Nuggets, 84-75. Next up, they'll play a home-and-home Sunday and Monday versus the Knicks. But first off, what did you guys think of the first game?
Well, I was most impressed with the defense. We held a Denver Nuggets team that loves to run and get up and down the court, score a lot of points. We held them to 75 points, which is really impressive. That's no small feat. And this team is kind of an underrated team. A lot of people are picking them for a 3, 4, 5 spot right behind the Lakers and the Thunder. So it's not an easy win. It's a very good first win for us.
Well, I disagree with you. I think everyone expected that we should have won this game. I don't think Denver's that good of a team. And even without Bonham, that's a game that we should have won. But I was really impressed with my boy Spencer Hall. As you see in the picture here, I love him, and I always did. But he really stepped up, and everyone, was doubting him last year and coming this year, just kind of writing him off because we got Bynum. But he really stepped up, and it was nice to see someone else step up because Bynum's not going to be there every game. He's not going to be always, the star of the team, even though we want him to be. He's going to have those games where he's not there, and it's nice to see other people step up. Obviously, it's not going to be Spencer Hall's every game, but it's nice to see we have those pieces of the puzzle to put in there when we're going to need them.
And you're right, just piggybacking off that, when Andrew Bynum actually does come back, then Spencer Hall is good enough to stretch the floor and play that little stretch 4-5 position where Andrew Bynum can be down low and he can shoot the ball. So it kind of spreads everything out. So I think they actually will complement each other at the end of the day. So besides that, though, guys, what do you think else helped us with the win?
Well, I mean, Drew Holiday, I think the one thing I thought that we did wrong was that we kind of fell in love with three-point shooting. Right. We did make our fair share, but we can't shoot that many. Against good teams, or the Nuggets, I was very surprised they didn't get out with those long rebounds and get more fast break points. But against better teams, they're going to exploit that, and they're going to give us those threes, tempt us. Whether or not we're disciplined enough to get something easier, we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, the threes haven't fallen for us early, and I think with a bunch of these young guys coming in and shooting, I think they'll just get more comfortable as the year goes on, and I think we'll actually be someone to be reckoned with at the end of the season.
All right, well, just a little reminder for our viewers to check out our Facebook and Twitter pages and post any questions or topics that you would like us to discuss here on STL. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's show. We'll be here next week, same time, same place. Take it easy, Westchester.